What do you think of when you hear the word computer? Probably something like this. But what if I told you computer used to be a job title?
There is a lot of misinformation out there today about AI, especially generative AI.
This is one of those pieces of misinformation. When referencing art, humans use them as inspiration. AI uses them as samples. This is not true. It goes on to say, without references, humans can still visualize ideas, but AI cannot. This is not true. Humans also need those references to visualize things. Both benefit from references, but AI depends on them. No, they both depend on them. AI doesn't learn from art, it manipulates art beyond recognition as a deception to appear new. Not exactly untrue, but humans do the same thing. And then without consent or compensation to the original artists, AI art is theft. And that last line is definitely the point of contention. You know, I understand how this is, and I know how it is to be in an industry that's being upsetted by AI because I myself am a programmer, and us programmers are very aware that AI is sort of able to do our job too. But I do think it's clear why this information is spreading, and that is because there are parties out there that want to protect their pocketbook. But the truth of the matter, as copyright is defined, AI work should be perfectly copyrightable. It is just another tool in order to make things with. And it is that, it's a tool. AI cannot do anything on its own. And I know when we hear AI, we have a tendency to think of, Cortana or the Terminator, but that's not what this kind of AI is, and we don't really have that AI in the first place. When a human, say, wants to make a certain style of music or certain style of picture art, they do the same thing that an AI does. They think back to the art they've seen and they make something similar, generally using similar tools. So AI is not a brain as we know brains, but you could call it a kind of brain, just not one that we've encountered in nature so far. And that is to say, it has no awareness of itself, but what it does have the ability to do is create now. And this is akin to how it used to only be humans that did computing, and humans were referred to as computers. Well, perhaps these boxes should be called artists as well now. But like traditional computers, it can't do anything on its own. The system simply is not designed to do anything on its own. And what would you have it do? Would you train another AI to then tell it what to do and just let him go to town making art? I'm not sure that would make much sense. So at the end of the day, this isn't a replacement, it is a tool. And I think there's this claim that AI work is low effort, and that could be true from some perspective. I don't think that matters. A lot of us would say that cutting down a tree with a chainsaw is a lot lower effort than cutting down a tree with an axe. I don't care as a consumer. I don't really care how you cut the tree down. And then just imagine that you have traditional tree cutters that use axes going around saying you can't sell the trees that you cut down with the chainsaw because it was low effort and you wouldn't have been able to make that chainsaw if you didn't see me using my axe. The truth is, what you have now is a better tool for some jobs. I don't think AI is ever going to get to the point where it's doing everything all of the time, but it will certainly infringe on some areas that the old way of doing it will just become just that, the old way of doing it. And if you are an artist, I want artists not to fear for the same reason I'm not fearing for my own career as a programmer, because AI tools are just that. They're tools, and what I found in using music generation and image generation is that people that know the art style are going to be able to do a lot better with it. For instance, I used Suno.ai, which is a music generation algorithm, to create the music in this video. Now, I could have done that a lot better if I knew how music worked. I don't know what a chord is. I don't know what a tempo is, or if it's supposed to be low or dark or slow. I don't know how to describe those things. If you know it and you know how to describe it, you can already do way more with the AI than anybody that's threatening to get into your industry using it. Attempting to lock down this technology legally is going to lead to the same thing these kinds of lockdowns always do. You're going to have some rich mogul that will have to cannonball through, sort of like Uber did with cabs. And the people like me, the smaller people that, could actually become something more than they are, won't have the opportunity to benefit because for us, we're not powerful enough to break the law. Another thing I feel quite comfortable saying is, yeah, I don't agree that AI algorithms or the companies that make them should have to pay artists for the data that they sampled. This is data that has been made available in some way, and the AI is accessing it the same way that a human would be allowed to. If I went and listened to a whole bunch of sample music on YouTube or wherever I can find it for whatever fee I pay, and I listen to all of that, then make my own version of it, that would be completely legitimate, and it shouldn't be any different for the mechanical brain. There are also benefits to lowering the barrier of entry when it comes to anything. In the future, music, art in general, can be more about what's in your heart than what's in your mind. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of people that are prevented from making music today. Anyone with any kind of handicap, whether that be physical or mental, that makes it to where you can't play a traditional instrument or you can't easily put music together on a computer in the traditional way, this could allow you to do that. And that would bring more people back into society making art. And I don't think it takes a whole lot to realize that this is a simple form of gatekeeping. These are, people within an industry that don't want to lose their positions of power or positions of wealth. And because of that, they're going to stop anything new from interfering with what they do. Now, unfortunately, that's just not how the world works, and I don't think it's how the world's going to move forward. So I think if you're feeling that way, your best option is to go subscribe to a generative AI tool and start getting good at it. So let's review. Both humans and AI create art in the same way. They can both create unique works from inspiration based on things they've seen before. The image you're seeing on the left is AI work. The one on the right is done by a human. As you can see, they both possess characteristics of the Mona Lisa, but put their own spin on it. AI uses a neural net. Your brain is a neural net, but a neural net is not necessarily a brain. If you want to learn more about neural nets, I'm going to link a video below from 3Blue1Brown that explains neural nets completely. I'd like to spend the rest of this video just looking at what AI can do, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright guys, let's get out there and make some AI generated artwork. Have a good night.